I want to bring in Republican pollster Frank Luntz right now. Frank, good to see you.
Thank you.
We want to go through the electoral map with you and really zero in on what you're watching. Great op-ed in the paper today, which we're going to talk about. And I know that it hurt you to write it. One of the lines that I highlighted from your op-ed was, "The world used to look upon our democracy with respect and deference. The 2016 presidential election has turned that into a mixture of amusement and disdain." Wow.
And I work all across the globe. So I've been in Europe, I've been in Asia, and people come up to me and they ask me, what are you doing to your country? They look at the politics, they look at the tone and the demeanor and the lack of seriousness and lack of policy, and they don't understand it because they've wanted to model their country's democracies on ours, and now they wonder, how could we have gone so far astray? And my greatest fear is what happens tonight. I'm staying up to listen to the concession speech, and let us hope there is one, and the victory speech, because in the end, if those speeches don't begin to turn the tone of this country, then it's not just the business community that's going to get hurt. It's all of us.
Yeah, for sure. So let's look at the lead up to that and these electoral states. Which states are you watching specifically?
So you got three of them here. You've got Florida, North Carolina, New Hampshire, and I would add one more, which is Nevada right there. And I recognize that a lot of people think Nevada is in the Democratic camp because of turnout.
Right.
All the polling showed Trump surging at the end, actually going ahead. So we're going to find out in Nevada whether or not the turnout mechanisms for the Democrats and the Republicans, which one is more effective.
Even with the Harry Reid machine in Nevada.
And the Union machine. But the polling, the average voter still is on the side in Nevada of Trump and the Republican Senate candidate. In Florida, this is always the key. It's 29 electoral votes. A Republican cannot win without winning Florida. Trump had the lead for about maybe a week. Clinton has done better over the last few days, and once again, the battle is over turnout. The Latino vote looks like it is coming out in droves and coming out early, but Republicans tend to vote on Election Day.
Yeah.
And so early voting is never a good indicator of who's going to win or who's going to lose in Florida.
All right, what other states are you looking at in terms of voter turnout?
North Carolina, because you've got two different states. It is a traditional southern state when you move to the western half of the state, and it feels like New York City in the Raleigh-Durham Research Triangle and Charlotte, where so many people from New York and the Northeast have moved down because of banking. North Carolina, we will not know that state until at least 10, perhaps even 11 p.m., even though it does close early.
Wow.
Because it's going to be within a few thousand votes either way. And North Carolina also determines whether Republicans will keep the governorship there and the Senate with Richard Burr in a very tough race. And finally, New Hampshire, once again, a tough Senate race up there. New Hampshire also looked like it was in Clinton's camp as recently as 10 days ago. But every single day, Trump's numbers improve. Now, here's the secret. Without New Hampshire, North Carolina, Florida, and Nevada, Trump cannot win tonight. He has to win all four of those, which would give him 272 electoral votes. Losing any of those states, and he loses the election.
Wow. Okay, so those are the ones to watch. But then there's also the wild card of, let's say he wins Pennsylvania.
I don't believe it. I don't see it.
You don't see it?
No, I've been through the state. I've done a lot of work in Michigan, and I think it'll be close. But these states, it's like magic for the GOP. They look like they have potential, and then on Election Day, they disappear. So you don't have the turnouts. You don't have enough of this wave to help Trump actually capture either of those. I don't think there's going to be a wild card here. I think it's these four states.
And what about some of those Dem states for so long that now are talking about being contested, like Michigan?
I don't believe it. There's nothing I see.
You're not buying it?
No, look, we go through this every election cycle where we think that so many states are going to be in play. For what, a week we were talking about Texas actually being close, or Georgia? Not going to happen.
Okay. Frank, great stuff.
And by the way, the article is in the New York Times today.
Yeah, exactly. New York Times op-ed from Frank Luntz. Great op-ed, Frank. Congratulations there.